The 2026 Toyota RAV4 looks like the perfect SUV on paper. Hybrid only, updated design, better tech, strong reputation. It's the kind of car people assume is a safe choice. But here's what most people don't realize. Safe doesn't mean perfect. And in many cases, it hides problems that only show up after you actually live with the car. So instead of hype, let's talk about reality. These are the downsides no one really talks about, and why they matter more than you think. It's not as quiet as you expect. Let's start with something you'll notice immediately, the noise. For a modern hybrid SUV, you'd expect a smooth, quiet driving experience. That's part of the appeal. But the RAV4 doesn't fully deliver on that expectation. Under acceleration, the engine gets loud, not just noticeable, intrusive. And it's not just the engine. At highway speeds, you start hearing road noise, wind noise, tire noise. It's not unbearable, but it's constant. And over time, that matters more than you think, because this is the kind of car people use every day for commuting, long drives, and travel. And when noise becomes part of every drive, it slowly wears on you. The interior still feels average. The redesign improved things, but not enough. When you step inside, you expect something modern, maybe even a bit premium. Instead, you get something that feels just okay. The layout is functional, everything is where it should be, but the materials don't always match the price. Some surfaces feel basic, some elements feel dated compared to newer competitors. It's not bad, but it's not impressive either. And that's the issue, because other SUVs in this category are starting to feel more refined, more polished, more intentional. Meanwhile, the RAV4 still feels like it's playing it safe. Ride quality isn't as smooth as you think. On paper, the RAV4 is comfortable. In reality, it depends on the road. On smooth surfaces, it feels fine. But once you hit rough pavement, potholes, or uneven roads, you start to notice a difference. It can feel a bit stiff, a bit bouncy, sometimes even slightly harsh. And while it's not uncomfortable, it lacks that smooth, cushioned feel some competitors deliver. This becomes more noticeable over time, especially on longer drives, especially if comfort is one of the main reasons you're choosing an SUV. The hybrid system isn't always seamless. The 2026 RAV4 is hybrid only. That sounds like a big advantage, and in many ways it is. Better fuel efficiency, lower emissions, more modern. But it also introduces a different kind of drawback. The transition between electric power and the gas engine isn't always smooth. Sometimes it feels slightly delayed. Sometimes it feels like the car is deciding what to do before it responds. And when you combine that with the louder engine under acceleration, it can make the experience feel less refined than expected. There's also a subtle lack of punch in certain situations. It's efficient, but it's not always exciting. Sometimes efficiency comes with its own kind of compromise. It looks modern, it feels modern, but not always in every moment. There's a quiet intelligence behind how it moves. Power isn't everything, but you do notice when it's missing. It's smooth most of the time, just not always instantly responsive. The experience is refined, but not perfectly seamless. It chooses efficiency first, excitement second. It looks sporty, but doesn't drive that way. The 2026 design makes the RAV4 look tougher, more aggressive, more capable, but the driving experience doesn't fully match that image. When you take corners, there's noticeable body roll. The steering is accurate, but not particularly engaging, and overall, it feels more focused on practicality than performance. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it creates a mismatch, because visually, it promises more than it delivers behind the wheel. It looks bold, but it drives calm. The design speaks louder than the performance. Strong on the outside, simple on the inside feel. It gives confidence, but not excitement. Built to be reliable, not thrilling. It handles well, just not sharply. You feel in control, but not fully connected. It's more about comfort than cornering. The ride is easy, not aggressive. It does everything right, just not dramatically. Smooth driving matters more here than speed. It's made for everyday roads, not racing moments. You notice the stability more than the fun. It keeps things safe and predictable. The focus is on balance, not bold performance. It feels steady, even when pushed a little. More practical than playful. It's designed to make life easier, not faster. The experience is simple, calm, and controlled. It delivers what you need, not what you imagine. Long drives can get uncomfortable. This is one of those things you don't notice right away. At first, the seats feel fine, supportive enough, comfortable enough, but after a few hours, you start to feel it. The support isn't as strong as it should be, the cushioning doesn't hold up as well over time, and what felt fine for short drives becomes noticeable on longer ones. For a car that's often used for road trips and daily commuting, that's something you can't ignore. It feels good at first, but time tells a different story. Comfort isn't always about the first impression. You don't notice it until you really do. Short drives feel fine, longer ones feel different. It's decent, just not lasting. The support fades the more you drive. What starts comfortable slowly becomes noticeable. It's okay for now, but not for hours. Over time, the difference becomes clear. It's not bad, but it could definitely be better. The price doesn't feel like a bargain anymore. The RAV4 used to be known for value. That's part of why it became so popular. But with the 2026 version, prices have climbed. And once you start adding features or moving up trims, it gets expensive quickly. At that point, you start looking at alternatives, vehicles that offer more refinement, more comfort, more premium features. And suddenly, the RAV4 doesn't feel like the obvious choice anymore. It used to feel like the easy choice. Now, it makes you think twice. The price climbs faster than expected. Value isn't as clear as it once was. It starts simple, but adds up quickly. The higher you go, the harder it is to justify. You begin to look at other options. It's good, but not alone anymore. The competition feels closer than ever. It's no longer the obvious pick. The tech isn't as smooth as it looks. Yes, the screens are bigger. Yes, the system is more modern, but bigger doesn't always mean better. Some things feel slightly delayed. Some menus take longer than they should, and the reliance on touch controls can make simple tasks more complicated. It's not broken, but it's not effortless either. And in a modern car, that matters, because technology is something you interact with every single day. It's not leading the segment anymore. The RAV4 is still good, reliable, practical, efficient, but it's no longer clearly ahead of the competition. Other SUVs are becoming quieter, more comfortable, more refined. Some feel more premium, some feel more engaging to drive, and when you compare them side by side, the RAV4 doesn't always stand out the way it used to. It blends in more than it leads. Reliability isn't the same as perfection. Toyota has built its reputation on reliability, and the RAV4 benefits from that. But that doesn't mean it's flawless. Newer models always come with adjustments, small issues, minor quirks, occasional inconsistencies, nothing major for most people, but enough to remind you that no car is perfect, especially in the first years of a new generation. The bigger truth most people miss. Here's what most reviews won't say clearly. The 2026 RAV4 isn't a bad car, it's a good car, but it's not exceptional, and that matters, because it's often presented as the best, safest, smartest choice, when in reality, it's a series of compromises. Why these downsides matter? None of these issues will ruin the car. On their own, they're small, but together, they shape the experience, the noise, the average interior, the ride quality, the lack of excitement, the rising price. Individually, they're manageable, but combined, they define what the car actually feels like to live with. The 2026 Toyota RAV4 continues what the RAV4 has always been known for: reliability, practicality, consistency, but underneath all of that, it's still a car full of trade-offs, and the biggest mistake you can make is assuming those trade-offs don't matter, because they do. Every single day you drive it. If you want more honest breakdowns like this, where we go beyond the marketing and actually talk about what cars are really like to live with, make sure you subscribe, because the difference between a good car and the right car is everything no one tells you.